And get up when it goes.
I was up today though. I just was like, shoot, you said you was getting up. I said, okay, well. The girls was downstairs, so I said, let me go. When I walked downstairs, I saw them
sleep. I wound up drinking tea, sleepy time tea, just to put me back to sleep because I was like, oh, shoot.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, we were alive, but yeah, girl, I was up this morning and had to drink some sleepy time tea to put me back to sleep so I could get some good sleep. I was like, Lord, I'm up too early.
That works.
It worked for me. I started feeling it when I said, girl, I'm getting up. I mean, like a little before, because I was like groggy. I was like, oh yeah, I feel this stuff now, honey. I was like, okay, let me get up.
Oh, so you had insomnia?
Yeah, I was up. Byron got up early and was out by like 4 something this morning. Then Jayla.
That's what happens when you wake up
and I'm like, oh.
Broken sleep.
I was broken sleep twice. Yes.
I was broken sleep twice.
I was broken sleep twice. I'll put some words together on her. I had mommy watching this yesterday. She was like, y'all is something. Good morning, and welcome to Coffee and Conversations. Man, listen. We're talking about yesterday.
My phone is here. I'm trying to get my life together.
And getting it organized.
Oh, get your life in order.
Your life, honey. Child, yes.
Oh. Oops.
I need to find some chairs. I'm waiting to find
scooting and booting. Okay. My bun is up there today, y'all.
It is up there today.
It's up there.
Yeah.
Shout out to Queen Gem, Goddess Gucci.
Come on now. Yes. All right, Queen Gem. Oh, yes, he is. Gucci.
Yes, he is. Anyhow, good morning to you.
Good morning.
In digital land. So, yeah. I got,
What happened?
You are choosing you today. You are tuned into Coffee and Conversations. Are you ready to I choose me? It's time to choose you today.
Misha said she
good morning, my
friend. Oh, it was so good.
Oh, she watched the replay.
Called me yesterday.
What was we talking about yesterday?
You
it was Hot Topics.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
She was like, girl.
She was all over the place, wasn't we?
That thing was good. It had me in here running around. I was like, I know. Talking about the curses.
The curses. Yes, we did talk about the generational curses. That's right.
I was like, yeah, I understand it now. Yep.
It makes sense now. It's sunk in. Yeah, good session. Yeah. Good session. That's what you call a soul doctor session. That's how they go. That fast.
Man,
I say,
listen. That damn stuff.
Get in. Don't get out. Get into yourself.
Honey, that thing is mesmerizing.
Oh, agave makes a difference.
Yeah, that agave.
Agave really makes the difference. I haven't had any agave. And then I'm normally the person that can find everything. And Chef Frank had a whole bottle on the counter. I was like, I thought it was 2. Where'd you find that? He said, you don't know how to look no more. I said, I guess I'm even tired of looking.
Oh, Lord. I can't.
I am the go finder, and nobody can find nothing until I show up. Then all of a sudden they say I have magical powers. And that I just made it appear like a magician in my house. Or a witch or something. Where nobody could never find anything. I go right to the thing. I remember one day Chef Ron was like, there's nothing in this bin. No. I mean in the exact same place. I go to the exact same place that they were just in. And he'd be like, there's no white beaters in this thing. I'm like, I'm sure there is like 4 or 5 white beaters in there. He them everything out. I go right behind him. I'm like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And he was like, you did something. Now even the boys be like, mommy did something. Nah, I just look deeper.
Don't you look a little deeper?
Why won't you look a little closer? I'm not the one I used to be.
That part, they right here. Can't you see?
I gave my life to Jesus, and He gave. Listen, that is the ongoing healing joke in my house to this now. Ever since I would say the end of last year, when me and Chef Ron was in there, and I was talking about Wounded Healers. And I was explaining to him about the ministry at our church and how it was just so. And I just remember when they got there Sunday, they would invite all the people. So they were ex-drug addicts and alcoholics and all kind of stuff. And they would invite all the people on their Sunday, honey, so that you could know they have changed, honey. God is in control. And so, but the song they were saying was, "Won't you look a little closer? I'm not the one I used to be. I gave my life to Jesus, and He gave a brand new life to me." And I remember I used to be sitting there, that word stuck. And so now, if I be like, "See, when you did," He was like, "Boy, won't you look a little closer?" And I'd be like, "Not right now. You don't ever want to, won't you look a little closer?" And I just be cracking up laughing. I can't even say nothing no more. Now I can't even bring up old crap because it's like, "Boy, won't you look a little closer?" Can I have grace?
You know what? I just can't. I can't. Crazy.
Honey, we keep each other alive with the bull. That thing keep me laughing. Cause honey,
you ain't lying.
It's so powerful.
The message. I'm busting out laughing, almost in tears, because I remember that too. I remember.
You remember that
singing on the stage, honey, and doing.
My daddy was over there too, honey. He was a recovering addict. He was just, boy, what had it, honey? You couldn't tell him nothing. That Sunday was about them saying sorry to everybody. This is my sorry for 2004. You remember when Ruben Stutter came out? This is my sorry for 2004, baby. This is all the whole year. Just give me grace.
Oh God, I don't understand it. Mommy said that damn Precious is so good. Really, I said, I'm trying to tell you, Mommy.
To God be the glory. I said, we just got to enjoy. I can't sit next time. We got to enjoy our lives, y'all. We just got to enjoy it.
You have to. Spend your days laughing, honey, versus crying. Because I'm trying to tell you.
Honey. Boy, won't you look a little closer. Which is probably perfect for this topic. I think this whole phrase is good for the topic we about to talk about.
This topic is about to be crazy.
Because what is the topic we got? Should successful women be open to dating financially challenged men? It seems that it is the topic of taboo. It is these new boss woman thing. And I really think it's
successful woman.
And I think. But before we even go there, I just want to say I think it's more of a gender. I don't even see this image that everybody speaks of the woman who must have the man that has this, that. I know people are talking because they are watching, social media and they're on the Clubhouse and you just got doses of people just talking. But when I look over the history of life, and even at the present time, maybe it's just the people that I know. I don't know. But I don't know this new idea or this whole what's the word what would you use? This whole new of this whole what them saying, like women are just like, I'm not messing with you if you ain't this successful. Like, I don't even think that's a real thing. Like, I don't really think that many women are that bossed up, that many women are stopping people who aren't on their level of success from being in relationships. I don't see that.
I think probably people are intimidated by them, so they don't come up to them to really ask them on a date or really just start the conversation because they feel like they wouldn't give them the time of day. So I think it comes off as, I wouldn't mess with this person or whatever. But how would you know? Because that person of the stature never even came to approach you, unless, woman these days be so initiative. They the initiator and coming up to the guys and getting numbers and all that. But, you know, depending on the woman, it's like, well, I wouldn't know because nobody really, they don't come to me. They don't say nothing because I guess they just feel like I won't. You know what I mean? But
I think that's.
I mean, sometimes that's the case because I know I was listening to a radio show and what's the comedian's name? He has a radio, not Steve Harvey.
You talking about
he was one of his hosts.
The slim guy.
Yeah.
Ricky Smiley?
No, not Ricky Smiley. The other one that was on the Kings of Comedy. Yeah.
D.L. Hughley?
Yeah, D.L. Hughley had a co-host, and she was saying, and they was like, no, he was like, no, you just bougie as hell. And she was like, no, but ask so-and-so. We was out, and he was like, man, I could clearly tell he was feeling her, and he would not just ask her. And she said, I go through that all the time. And she was like, it's not me, I'm telling you. He was like, no. Cause you be acting funny. And she was like, but if she said, but they still don't even say nothing to me. And I could tell they want to ask me over, but they just won't say nothing to me. And he was like, the guy was like, yeah, cause I was like, dude, just say something to her, just ask her. And he just would not.
So it's like you saying, so it's being presented as the successful woman. And I guess if we won't label successful, they're always going to put in, you know, independent, I guess has her career, is established, basically taking care of herself.
Got everything she wanted to do for herself. And now
she has standards.
Ain't that something?
Ain't that something?
Woman who ain't successful.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't even say the woman who's not successful doesn't have standards, but your standards are built according to the quality or the level of life you get used to, right? So many things are not a standard until something happens, and then that's what you stand on.
Yeah,
so that's where I'm going to stand.
Looking in, it's like, oh, she's this type of woman. Oh, I got to come right. Oh, I got to have this to come to her.
No, and she technically will have her standards because, you know, she'll have the thing like, good morning, queen. Good morning to you. Maybe she has more of a standard as if like
based on how she got
based on I get it right. My life is set up a certain kind of way. So it's a standard could be a quality of life as well, right? Because if I don't eat meat, that's my standard. That's the quality of life I have, right? You see what I'm saying? So, you know, I may have some, right, that
Olive Garden, Red Lobster.
Yes, girl, go get you a fresh cup for this conversation.
Girl.
We just getting started.
Honey, yes. Get your cup of coffee, tea, hot beverage, and let's have these conversations. Jump into the conversation.
This coffee good today, so I don't know if it's going to be a good word, but the coffee is good. Oh, yeah, you need to warm yours up because mine's
it's piping.
Sip mine and see why I'm over here like, hallelujah.
Oh, dang, that thing do keep it hot. Oh, yeah, that's good.
And flavorful.
That's a sweet, good.
Yeah, you need a little, just a drop of that and a drop of that. We got our agave.
Party going.
We're going to keep this. She's going to go warm that up. But yeah, so go get that cup of coffee because we about to have a conversation. But yeah, so the topic today is just us asking, you know, let me finish sharing this. I can come out of here.
I mean,
we're just talking about basically, does the successful woman, is she open to dating financially challenged men? So when you say successful, most people would consider success, unfortunately, as financial security, right? That's success to the average eye, right? That's how we have to say. We have to quote it like success is family, success is good health, success is all of that. But from the immediate eye, when somebody says that they want to be successful, they're talking about financial stability. right? And so since that's averagely what people think when they say success, you're talking about a woman who is financially stable. Would she deal with somebody who's just getting on his feet? Should she? Should a successful woman be with somebody who's just getting on their feet, that's trying to figure it out? That's I would say absolutely, depending on, you know, who that person is, because, or what point that you meet them, right? Because everybody's not on the same timetable, and everybody didn't have the same opportunities to reach, you know, where everybody else is. That's why it's a relay race and somebody is relying on you. And if a woman was created to multiply the man, and you already are doing math at an accelerated way, I really think that you connecting with a man could inspire him in all of those different things. So I'm not saying be with him to inspire him. I say, well, you gotta, it's by person, per person, right? Yeah. So, because success is not always what you have, because what if you have everything and he got all the ideas? You understand? So there's what's so much, maybe you're a worker and he can put you in a position to make the money work for you instead of you working for the money, because two is always better than one. And so I think I've always felt like, whether it's a successful man or successful woman financially, that each of them should always get with somebody who maybe has less, and then we'll even out the gap of, you know, life, right? Because if you got so much and I'm trying to get to where you are, then I think that's a better median than all the rich people go together and then the people who can't have stay over. I think it should be a cross contamination from my perspective.
Well, you know, they say the rich hang out with the rich, right? So I mean, it's like mindedness sometimes. Now I'll say this.
I think she should, because she can pull him up and they do it together. Absolutely. I agree, Janice.
Now I'm not
everything, and he beat the crap out of her in closed doors.
Right. So now that's a whole nother thing. I mean,
are you saying because you're successful and he's not, he has the insecurities?
Right. Because I mean, now, should a successful woman date a financially challenged man? To each his own. Now, if my thinking is, if you're financially set and you're good financially, should you date somebody? Now that's up to you, because the question is, if you're financially secure, are you looking for that? Then you might not be looking for that, right? So I'm not looking for a man who's financially secure. I got that in the bag. I know I don't need him for that, right? Not that I need him for that, but I don't. So I just need a man to love me, to protect me, to care for me, to make me laugh, to, you know, so it just depends on
per person. Yeah.
I can date, if I'm financially secure, I can date somebody who's not, because that's not what I'm looking for him to do for me. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, now, should I do it? That's to my discretion.
That's to your discretion.
You know what I mean? So it's like,
good morning. Please repeat the topic. I'm a little late. Oh, the topic is, should successful women be open to dating financially challenged men? I realize that is like a serious ongoing. I hear so much. Yesterday I was in the clubhouse room and the men they are so angry at, it just sounds like women in general. And I think it's because, you know, like they were angry about, I guess there was an interview with, Steve Harvey and Shannon Sharp. I haven't seen it yet. Me and Chef Ron were supposed to watch it last night and we just forgot to watch it. So I don't have no content on it, but I know it was him speaking to men being providers and taking care. And they were just like, that's the reason why women are expecting so much from men. And you see what I'm saying? So it's like seems like a war between the male and the females, because it's almost like when they using the word boss chick is kind of offending men. And I don't, you know, in a way where they feel like they can't provide because
You so bossed up, you're like, I can't do that.
And they call it masculinity, right?
Man.
They call boss up masculinity as if, like finances is masculine, which is a new topic, right? Because why is was it okay for a man to have finances and use it as a weapon of mass destruction, i.e. I can get what I want, do how I want. Now I have access to more. But when the woman who followed the walk of the man, right? Because you watch it, that's why they wanted to get their power back, because somehow that power meant you controlled me, right? And so I think the healing part is men accepting and taking accountability that the reason why when women get money, they get to that point where I don't need nobody. I do it how I want. Because you showed them money meant access. It meant power. And it meant that I get to decide how stuff move and I don't take an accountability, maybe every moving factor, right? And so I think that women thought money meant freedom. It meant resources. It meant a higher, I get a seat at the table. I get to get in a room. And I think the men are upset, but you taught them that, right? We learn, right? It's not in your DNA, it's in your CNA. And if men, when they had money, had a more graceful attitude, maybe when the woman came into their power, right? Because anointing falls from the head down. And so leadership falls from the head down. And so if the man was anointed before, the women were able to go out and get jobs. And when they had money and position, they abused their money and position. Now the woman got authority now and dominion, and now they moving at their own rate. It changes the dynamic because now the women are like, well, money means I get to make these decisions. It means I get to be picky. It means I get to be prompt. It means all of these things because that's what the visualization of what money meant. It meant power. So I don't know if that is what's going on and people are not addressing what was taught.
Misha says per person, characteristics and morals determine if they're even worth my serious time.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I said there's so many women who are not that way, right? Like it doesn't matter how successful.
You can have money, but you're a total jerk because you power tripping. Like you just know, like, you know what I mean?
That part. I've seen big stars date the background dancers because they always make the comment like a man that is wealthy would date any woman, but a woman that is wealthy wouldn't date any man. And I don't think that's true either, because I've seen the J-Los of the world date the background dancers, and I've seen people who weren't as on top get in good relationships and healthy relationships, right? Because at the end of the day, it's balance. I really think it's about how you feel with the money. When you get money, what does it make you feel like?
Yeah.
Because if it was just about security, as you were saying, then I have the openness to see who people really are because now I'm secure. It doesn't make sense for me to have money and security and still go through those different issues that I don't have to because I'm dealing with somebody who's even more wealthier than me. And now I have to deal with all this extra ego that comes with the money when I'm already good. So if I'm good, then now I should have the freedom to search for something quality because I'm not looking for anything, right? I don't need anything right now. Right now is a want. And the more I get to know you and you grow on me, the more I need you. But because I'm sufficient and efficient, then I think that it will put women in a better position to choose wisely. Because sometimes you're dating people just because what Rondell said, they need help. Sometimes you just need help. So it's like, so I think it puts you in a different perspective when you have control and it's not a need to the point where it's agreed where you got to let yourself go for somebody else's perspective or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it says,
yes, it is always not finances, especially when you already have everything. We as women need more than money.
That part.
Absolutely. Just like the man, because if the man comes with the money, he's not looking for you to have the money.
Right.
So he ain't looking for a boss bitch, maybe.
No, he's definitely not looking for.
He needs you to have other things going on that money can't give him.
Yeah.
And he ain't looking for to go. He could buy it, but he ain't looking for that. He needs something special. He needs something to call his own. He needs certain qualities. So I think it's the same as women. So if money ain't my thing, if I'm financially secure, then I'm looking for you for other things. Other things that my money is not giving me. Because I could be all this boss bitch, home but lonely. Home hanging out with my girlfriends, but they always telling me stories about what they doing with their men and husbands. And I want a husband, but why I'm sitting up here with everything together and I don't have a man to call my own. Right? So it's kind of like, it's mentally like something is going wrong.
That part.
Faye said men stopped doing for women and left women hanging that
we had to fend for ourselves. So now, and that's what I said. I think people are not addressing. We always deal with the tree and nobody ever deals with the roots. And I keep on saying there's a healing that has to take place. There's so much healing that has to take place in order for people to relate for the ship to move, because people are holding on to that generational curses, the pain, like we spoke about yesterday. And so when you say, listen, that one did me wrong. I'm about to go boss up. I'm about to do my thing. I'm tired of waiting, tired of hoping, tired of being passed over, crossed over. So I'm going to concentrate on making myself good and complete so I'm not as vulnerable to any and everybody. And then I think at the end of the day, as they start processing through that thing, they became stronger. Which means, because the more work you do, it's like you unconsciously build muscle that you don't realize you're building, right? If I go to the gym every day, eventually, a year later, you be like, "Oh, girl, she toned.
She just
I could see it
with one hand.
Right." And outside of that internal strength of me picking out the couch, you'll see it on me.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the sight. We're not talking about the internal. We're talking about you won't be able to see my muscles from the naked eye. Who don't know what I'm doing every day, you'll be able to see my process, right? I think that's what happens even with women. If you're going years and years of maintaining. Not complaining, but maintaining, then there's going to be an energy on you that looks like where you've been going and what you've been doing. It can't come off.
There is a different
what's the name?
Confidence in you when you got it together.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah,
there is a different. Your back is straight. You more the way you talk, the way you speak. It's just like, listen, I don't have to. Good morning, Dr. Beverly. So I think it's more or less like, think about it. Like if men are the ones who are the providers, right? Then women are used to relying on, depending on this man to make sure that the house is taken care of, to make sure that the bills are paid. So now it's like, I don't want to have to feel that feeling of being dependent on you. I want to be able to have some type of control to, just in case. It's like women been so dependent, and that's when women was like trying to leave, and they don't have no financial nothing to even them and the kids. It's like they have to stay because financially they can't leave. And so they done bossed up so much that it's like, I would never be dependent on a man. And when you get that independence in your mindset, it's like headstrong. It's like you become so dominant. You now take on this masculinity of dominance. Like, I don't gotta take this. Oh no, you cause I don't need you. Like, I would find another man that's gonna I'm not dependent on you. Yes. So you get this kind of like raw, and you like you the man. I'm the man because I don't need everything you think you're doing. I could do too. You know what I'm saying? So it's like something pop off, and you just So it's like the woman does become masculine even in roles. When they get money and stuff too, it's like You let anything happen, it's like, so something else gotta be there.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not, when women get money, depending on the woman.
But then I say again,
depending on the woman, but you let a woman have some, it ain't but so much you gonna be taking.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm telling you,
and that's but you know
money is different.
You know what it leads to? Back yesterday when I was saying about when you're rich, it's hard to develop. Right?
Correct.
And when you're bossed up, it's hard to develop. Right? Because
you need that medium.
There's a medium of masculinity and femininity that is having an issue because people have been forced to do things out of their actual breakdown, right? In order to do what I got to do to be who I got to be because I'm here and I have no choice. And so that becomes underdeveloped in the other part where you wanted me to be sensitive, you wanted me to be secure, you wanted me to be dependent. All of those things that a woman is supposed to be to a man so that together, because the thing is, I'm going to work on the things that I want. If I keep on feeling like there's a better, easier, or I just got it by myself, we wasn't made for that. And the more that we say that I'm independent and I got it by myself, then how far can one go if it takes two to touch and agree? And so the more everybody is bossed up and underdeveloped in their roles as human beings, as the idea of what society is supposed to bring for legacy to bring forth. If you fight over here for the boss and she fight over here for the boss, I say it has to be a meeting of the minds, because the women are upset and the men are upset and the kids are left at bay while everybody's fighting to be seen, when it's like, well, we got to see ourselves first. And so because it costs all of that, it's hard to arrive without all of that stuff on you. Yeah. And so it's really breaking off that pain, that hurt, so that you could take back that layer to be feminine. But it is hard because that woman is thinking about who lied, who cheated, who left, when she had to pick up and figure it out, and she'll never be in that position again. All of that is fear.
Focusing on the relationship
at hand. So that fear have you stuck in the matrix and calling, and calling it,
and not having nothing in the end.
Yeah. And it's both ways. Like I said, the man and the woman are out of position, which is why it's so much chaos in the world. We're fighting over titles of who's bossier than who and who's more successful than who. Yeah. And if all the success got together, then we wouldn't have nothing to talk about. But everybody is separated in their corners of success when God was waiting for a collaboration. I needed you to be better. I needed you bossed up so that you could what?
Empire.
Right, that part. What she said?
They said it shouldn't matter. If we are in true relationship, partnership, we should balance each other.
We should.
Absolutely.
That's our responsibility.
It shouldn't matter.
Depending on you, and you give me your ass to kiss.
Depending on you, and you give me your
I'm saying and that is the thing.
That's what we're gonna have to fix and correct
in our feelings.
And point that out. Like, listen, we need to talk because this ain't gonna work how you doing it.
Yes.
Dr. Beverly says, when you are successful, you are going to have challenges, be it finances or relationship. Women can look together and emotionally be fucked up. The men they choose support their pain. And to be careful is to learn the reason why I'm successful without a mate. The him is for me, not my success. He can only help build with me so we both become successful. That part right there.
Yeah, when you are successful, it is going. But I don't think it's going to have challenges. But I think the challenges remove when we have grace for the success, right? Sometimes it's challenges because it's the communication, right? Because irregardless of what, there is an energy. And sometimes unconsciously, we don't understand that maybe doing all that made us upset. Maybe having to do all those things put a chip on our shoulder. That's why it's important to really sit down and deal with who you are, because when your energy is amazing and you're not mad about that you had to do it yourself because it was just where you were, if you let go of the lesson you learned in the last relationship that don't got you stuck and bothered, then I think that you can be successful and still draw in somebody as long as you are cleansed in your success. Sometimes we are successful, but we're not cleansed in our success. We still have all the scars of what it took to get there. That's why I say wealthy. When you spell wealthy, it's spelled W-E-A-L-T-H-Y. But when I looked up the word W-E-A-L, that means to be scarred. So thy scarred is what makes you successful. So the problem is that successful people are scarred because it requires a lot of tenacity to keep on pushing when you ain't got nobody to touch and agree, right? But God, right? It takes a lot of tenacity to pick yourself up from somebody that you trusted before and then had to figure it out, right? So now it's like, will I trust again? This one hurt me. This did that. So it's hard for us to develop. That's why God says to renew your mind daily so that your mind can go with your body, so that your mind can go with your anointing, so that your mind can flow with your constant change, your evolution. But insanity is because we be in the physical survivors, but our mind be stuck in who did what, when, where, why, which is why the successful person still has a chip on their shoulder, because I shouldn't be able to see your success. I shouldn't be able to say that because you're successful is challenges. That's what you told yourself. See, you get to welcome whatever it is that you want to welcome by what you believe. Remember, we said your F is all that matters, because unless you touch and agree with it, it's going to be a problem. So there are very successful women who can have a man who has less than them if they haven't allowed what they've done to get to their head. If they haven't allowed all of that stuff to be a hindrance for where you're going, because God said, I didn't get you through that for you to carry the burden of it, for you to carry a grudge. I got you through it so that you could be the example. So I survived until I got to my Boaz. I survived until I got to my king. I survived until I got to the place of where it was time for God to say, now you get a break, because you have showed up and served for you. But instead, we blame everybody else instead of realizing that, this is how I got over a lot of my pain, realized, well, God wrote them in that way. And it ain't. To be mad at you is to be mad at God, but to accept that people make choices. We make choices and choose people who may be underdeveloped, and we want them to be in a better position, and we try it anyway, even though we shouldn't, because of our needs and our wants. And then when it turns out wrong, we walk around and we're mad at everybody else, and then we got a chip on our shoulder. And so now I'm focused on getting my stuff together now, because ain't nobody, so you already went with the wrong energy. So how do you think the momentum of that is going to become by the time you hit a man? It might be different. So if you are successful, it's really important that we check ourselves, right? And check our energy and make sure that our energy is not so successful, because God said, you ain't nobody.
The energy before, that's why they ain't approaching you. That's why,
like God said, you are nothing. That stuff means nothing. If you can't get
shared with somebody, you can't take all that success to the grave. You need to leave it with somebody, or you need to share it with somebody that now together, both of y'all have success together. You use it to implement or do something to bring more. Like you say, two is always better than one. Okay, look what you did by yourself. So if you take somebody that's not as successful and you did that your daggone self, what could you do if you take your same mindset and implement it and with somebody else that maybe got something else that could bring to the table, and y'all multiply that? Because if you could do that by yourself with your mindset, what can you do with another person and you develop a mindset with them, depending on what they can bring to the table?
That part. So, and I think Misha was saying earlier when you was talking about, you know, back in the day, she said you hit the nail on the coffin. Back in the day, women accepted a lot to be taken care of. Women got left alone and educated and alone. Then they started taking care of the man. Nope, not my job.
Not my job.
But see, our job is to take care of the man. Maybe not financially, but I think that if you're in it depends on the relationship, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're in a committed relationship, sometimes somebody's up, sometimes somebody's down. We live in a world where it might be easier for a Black woman to get in a position than it is for a Black man, if we're gonna be honest, right? And I think it's ways to keep us separated because the average Black woman makes more money than the average Black man, but the average white woman does not make more money than the average white man. There's a reason for that, right? Because it's all in how you take it in, right? So if money is just money and we got one bill and we got one thing, doesn't matter if I would love to be rich enough to do what Tabitha Brown did, which was retire her husband so that he can focus on other stuff, so he can travel with her, so they can, because she's in a financial literate
not in
place,
the
right?
But
not in the beginning.
But I can do that.
But it could be in the beginning, because what is any difference than a man who you get to and he's arrived and he take you on and you not? How come is it different?
Because what?
Yeah, if a man is in a good, I'm saying if a man is in a good position and he meets you, he can fall in love with you and y'all can grow, and it doesn't matter if you got money. So what would be the problem for a woman to be in a good position and meet a man who is everything, but he just lacks the financial stability? What would be the problem with picking him? Why would he have to grow with me for me to say that he has value, even though he don't have money?
Okay, so I don't think there's nothing wrong if that is who she picked, and she's good with that.
Yeah.
But I think just history-wise, a man has always been the one who comes to the house to get the woman to you know what I mean, provide for the woman.
Yeah.
Just historically. So that's just innately how it is. So you don't necessarily look for the man that has nothing as a woman. Now, if you do have it together, like I was saying, you ain't really looking for that.
And
but
so nothing would mean
kind of
money.
like, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, so, yeah, but still, you gotta have. Well, we said financially challenged.
That's what I'm saying. So
it's kind of like just being a woman out. Every woman is different. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being biased, but I'm saying
no. You gotta have both sides. I mean,
I'm saying like I want. It was so crazy because you know that song that's on the radio now. The guy talking to the woman about the commandments or whatever, what you should look for in a man. Or have you heard that song yet?
No, I haven't heard it.
And it's good. It's good. I'm gonna have you hear. And he was just saying you should this and this and this and this, and he was just giving different things with the man. But I'm just saying a woman is gonna look for certain things for the man to have, kind of as a characteristic of the man. That's like a woman having her stuff together, and the man always coming to live with the woman. You see what I'm saying? Like, can you be a little situated so I can know you at least had your own place? Like sometimes, like
I think. Okay, let's use now as a time, right? Right now, the time we're in right now, we're talking about financially challenged, right? Many people are financially challenged, right? Because when the cost of living goes up, right? And then I'm just saying, financially challenged does not mean that the man don't have a job. It may mean that the man is not six figures. It may mean that the man is only making, but that's financially challenged to be making $40,000, $50,000. Listen, to be making $40,000, $50,000 in the world we live in right now would put a lot of men financially challenged. If we're gonna be honest,
that would be
let's talk about the real thing. And that's the thing I'm saying. If everybody keeps on indoctrinating the mindset,
who the heck making six figures
that you have to, but
not even a.
But no. Listen, but let's take six figures out.
Yeah.
The average man could be, if you do the reports, are making $40,000 to $50,000. How much is that a month? If we break it down, maybe $3,000, $4,000 a month. The average rent. Now, we're not talking about, I'm saying financially challenged men, that's the conversation that they have, right? Because if it's tight, if you living paycheck to paycheck, that will be considered financially challenged. There is no savings account. It doesn't mean that you're not a hard worker. Oh, no. What it means is that you don't have the access. You don't have the resources. You're just not in a position. Maybe you wasn't able to go to college because you had to help out. Maybe you just got a regular job. Maybe you're just working, doing regular things. What I'm saying is that if a lot of women were going to college, coming out, prime example, a lot of them coming out making good money, right? And you and the men are not always in the same exact position. So they may not be making as much or even near that. But I'm just saying a mindset to say that if you have everything, then we can collaborate and we can grow together. And that narrative that if I'm successful and you are financially challenged, that you have no value as a man, is a lot of the issues and the conversations that are going on with this day and time. And it makes sense because you can't change what it costs to live. Yeah. And you can't do anything about that, right? So that means that the average man could be financially challenged in this day and time.
It's slim pickings out here. Slim pickings out here, honey. If that's financially
challenged. That's the conversation that they're having. Because if you're successful,
they were saying like somebody, okay, my financially challenged was something totally different.
Yeah, you just talking about somebody don't care.
Got no money.
Yeah, but that's not financially. That's not financially challenged. That's lazy. That's lazy. That ain't financially challenged. Gotcha. Hell, I could be I'm financially challenged.
That's what I'm saying.
That doesn't have anything to do with your work ethic, your success. Financially challenged mean you just ain't got that yet. Okay, you ain't got the money to wish you were. I don't got the money to say I'm gonna pay your rent this month. Hell, I'm paying my rent this month. I'm talking about financially challenged.
Financially challenged man.
She said, "This is so hard. This typing. You need a link. You want to come and say something?
You want to come in and say something?"
Mama Faith says, "Love, respect, and true communication. You are supposed to come as you are, not some imitation of whoever. Two people in honest relationships, sharing your souls, becoming one, moving in yin yang flow." I love that. I mean, these are the conversations we need to have so that we can build that graph, because there's so many people who are single, and if they put it together, you could be, because I'm gonna tell you, a 40,000 and a 40,000 is 80,000.
That's what I'm saying.
A 50,000 and a 50,000 is 100,000. So it's saying that you may be 100 and he may got 50. That's 200,000. I cannot understand how you can help him
grow that. You can help him grow that.
Yes, we are supposed to cover each other and decide together in love of each other. That part, money is. You want to read that one?
Money is man-made shit. They bought to change that too, and
they about to change that too.
And they,
and
they about to change that too. And God created us to love each other, enjoy, and create together with the nature He has provided.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, this money thing is a condition.
Oh yeah.
It's back in the day they didn't need $1 million house. No. So so I can have a wife and 7 kids because I didn't need all of the things.
40, 50,000. That ain't.
So we're losing love and family and legacy because of things. I am choosing you on things.
That part right there.
You understand what I'm saying?
And if you're successful, his financially 40 to 50,000 financial challenge is not a challenge. Y'all can do some things with that. Trust me, I know. Okay? We on the 40, 50,000. You could change some things with that. Grab up some assets, honey. Get some investments.
I mean, it depends on, it depends. 40, 50,000 may be good depending on how many kids you got. Depending on what your household look like. That is not, it's nothing. It's nothing.
Was she successful?
Ooh, that's what I'm saying. She's successful.
So I mean, hey,
what if he isn't financially challenged? He is only challenged in the discipline with his finances. That is a good thing. I love that phrase because financially challenged just can mean you don't know how to spend.
You doing the wrong things with your money. Your money going every which way where it's supposed to be.
That part. So I think that is very, very
funds. Oh yeah, that could make you financially challenged too, because you could be making some good money, but how much of it is actually, you know what I mean, going to good uses, right? Or are you gambling? Are you not a good steward over your money, right? So I mean that is true. That's a good one. That'll create some challenges. You mean like the guidance? Got to be disciplined with them finances. Okay, good morning, or the L. Girl, I know you want to jump in this conversation. Get in. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was under the wrong impression. Oh, okay. That changes the trajectory of the conversation.
Well, what did she say?
Absolutely. I think we was thinking the same thing. What? We was thinking like a bum nigga. like a financially, when I thought financially challenged, yeah. I was like, he's financially challenged, meaning he don't have money, not meaning like us, like me, like financially challenged. I was thinking like, I'm successful.
Yeah, because I'm just talking.
Date with somebody who doesn't have nothing.
Yeah, but I'm talking about that's why I use the successful boss woman, because if she's making 6 figures, 40,000 is financially challenged to her. That's less than half of her salary. So yeah, that would consider. I don't know what math, but I didn't say broke, busted, and disgusted. I said financially challenged, and finances can be a challenge, and I like that, even because you can think of it however you want, but I think
I wasn't thinking of it like that.
Yeah, I'm not talking about should you date a bum. Nobody's gonna put their child with a bum. Just that don't even fall together. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not. Yeah, that wouldn't make sense. I'm not saying that like should you go pick somebody who has what kind of woman that's successful just gonna pick a man who just ain't doing nothing. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying he could be doing something. He's just not as
at her level.
Fluent with right. I can't buy you what you could buy yourself. Mm-hmm. That would make him feel like I can't do the things you can go out and eat at that. I can't do the things for you that you can do for you. And if I want to be your thing, your highlight, which men want to be, then it would put them in an insecurity thing, because as a man, I want to protect and provide, right? And so if I can't, it may make me feel like, and then the woman may feel like if you can't do A, B, C, and the third, you can't do nothing for me. That's what I mean by, so just because you could be working every day and be a good man, that's the point I'm trying to make. Should they overlook? That's why I said, because otherwise, the point is, should successful women be open to dating people who I'm just meaning not on their exact level, but are good guys who, that's why I said you can multiply them. If you're in more of a position, you could definitely multiply them, but not like.
Oh, our face says send a damn link, girl.
Send a link for what? Oh, for her to get on. Okay. I'm like, send the link for what?
For the book club, girl. Sunday's book club.
Let me copy that. Copy that.
Oh yeah, you missing out on some diamonds. You missing out on some diamonds in the rough, honey. Them successful women better get off their high horse, because you are missing out on some gems, honey.
That part
right there.
Oh, I can't find it. Can you? Let me see if I can find myself. Messenger. Can y'all still hear? Can you still? Yeah, we still there. You can still talk. Okay. I'm just trying to find her to put her.
But yeah. So I mean, yeah. Child.
So I just say
some mountains with somebody that's financially challenged. All is not lost with a man that's financially challenged.
No, all is not lost with a man that is financially challenged at all. But that's what I said is it can become a big issue Just mainly because.
Yeah, because if you're overlooking them and you won't even give them the time of day or take it to another level, then it's like you're gonna be missing out on a lot of men. You are really slim pickings out because yeah.
I don't ever see mommy name.
I would say
let me see if Nakia, if I see me. I said, I'm trying to see if I see it. I don't know why mommy's name is not coming up. Nothing's coming up. No.
Well, who's that?
Oh. No, it's like I'm in my chat. So I'm searching in Messenger.
But yeah, we trying to get you a link on Faye. So
here we go.
We found you. She's sending it to you now so you could hop on.
But yeah, so keep the conversation going outside of that.
But yeah. So anyway, this is a good topic though, because I guess a lot of women are really not, they just so bossed up. They can't find a man, and I wonder why. They doing the most.
I mean, I guess it's just hard just because
it's either hard because they're just hard. They're not being approached because the man probably is intimidated by them or feeling like they won't even give them a time
YOLO.
of day.
Spend it, but make it back. You only live once. Spend it, but make it back.
Right back. Well, I said, I don't be playing around.
But I think that's I sent you the link, Mom, but I think that's the whole point of it is to really recognize that to be financially challenged is different. And like I said, I love that Dr. Beverly, that's what I'm saying. That's the majority of the world. That's why I said this new narrative that women are too bossed up and don't want to give a man that don't got their level of attention. I don't think that's true. I don't know why is it a conversation, but I think it's really just people, once they get the money, they stop having to deal with the same mundane thing. So if I had to deal with it before, I ain't dealing with it now. That's why I said it definitely would take some healing. Definitely would take some letting go of some things. But definitely would take some,
with the money, because that don't let that be a factor so much.
Absolutely, because I would never say for a successful woman to be with somebody with no
come and go. Like Rondell said, spend it and get it right back, and you by yourself. That man could help you get it back and multiply it to another level.
Yep, that part,
because you have a whole nother mindset, and it ain't like he's a bum. So it's like, come on, just be, you got to be open to it.
You got to be open. You got to be real. Let's see what Dr. Beverly says.
Maybe those kind of men need a successful woman so he can match her frequency, come out of his shell, or most times successful women are not approachable.
Yes, correct. And that's what we were saying at the very beginning of the conversation, that sometimes because of why you are, your why, it could have been because somebody left you. It could have been because you was a single mom and had to get up. It could have been your why really is going to determine the type of energy you have when you arrive. And so if you're still in your feelings about why you had to become successful, why you had to go to college, if it was all about so that you can, if you're doing it with the attitude that nobody's going to tell me nothing, if you're doing it with the attitude that nobody else is going to leave me high and dry, those things will carry into your successfulness, and you will have an air about you. You will have an arrogance about you. You will have an attitude that doesn't reflect gratitude, which is probably why it'd be hard for people to approach you. Absolutely. And then they may be like, well, what do you do? Because she may be thinking, if I had the time to get my life together, then what were you doing with your life that you're stuck? So you would really have to explain in order for you to maybe get to the other level, for her to be like, well, where your success is okay with me. Where your success is fine with me, because now I understand. We don't listen to understand. We listen to judge. Because we want to know why you ain't here, why you ain't this, without even knowing nothing that they've been through that got them where. Just like the things that took you to where you are, it was steps, it was choices, it was decisions. And maybe everybody didn't have the same choices to pick from, or they didn't make the proper decisions at the time. And so it's like success breeds clues, but an attitude, because you had to become successful. And why you had to become successful can become a problem to you in the relationship.
Don't be so arrogant with the success. And just be a person. What Ron says, a wife will build you up. If you connected to a woman that ain't making your situation better, get rid of her. She not the one. I can truly say my wife made me a better person, period. If you know me, then you saw the 360 I did. All right, Ron.
And I think that's, thank you, baby.
When a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing.
And I think that's so powerful. And I think it's so true because, well, like I said, he wasn't, of course, he wasn't no bum.
Right, he wasn't no bum.
So it wasn't, you know, like, oh, it's hard to sit and listen, but it is right. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. So it wasn't like me saying from the person like, okay, I'm gonna have patience with him, because no, he had his life going on. He was a hard worker. He had a car. He had a place. So it wasn't the same scenario where it was like, okay, I had to dig deep to see the thing in him. What I saw was that it was an opposite effect for me, because I saw that he had all that stuff going and he still was a good person, right? He still was a giver. So for me, all of his success wasn't to his head. So now you could add. And so the things I was able to add to him, I have my own job. I didn't ask him to pay my bills. He paid his bills here. I paid my bills there. He never paid my bills until we were living together. Let's say that. Well, I never asked. Now, if I asked, I'm sure he would have. But what I'm saying is that what I learned even in that process was to even serve him unconsciously. Now that I go back and think about it, it was like I had what I had, he had what he had, but then it was like, can I do your laundry? Bring your laundry, I'll wash with mine. You get off late, you don't get out of work, you work third shift, you're out at like 11, you don't have time to cook a dinner, but we made dinner. You stop by, the food is in the microwave, right? So it's still ways that you serve that let somebody know that you care, so that they can open themselves up to, like he said, do the 360. So who he became was because I served him first, because I loved him first, because he can trust me first. So then he was open to my opinions. He was open to my guidance. He was open to, at that point, advice, because sometimes it could add advices because this is what I think it should be. And so we got to grow at that level because it was that security and that service and all that other stuff. So that's why I'm saying now it helped us. We were 19 and 20. So there wasn't expectations of what we should have had at that point. Right. And so we missed a whole lot of the headache that I hear the world going in. And I'm so grateful that we were able to miss that, because I don't know what it would feel like to be a 40-year-old trying to say at this point, I expect this certain success.
You need to be doing this and you need to be doing that. And
yes, he was being a God man and not a world man. That part. And I'm saying, I think there's so many men out there that are God men. So many men out there.
And that's it too. When you start thinking of the outside world and letting them in, it will change the whole dynamic of your relationship. So when y'all keep each other into that bond and commitment and just listening to each other and having a good communication, then it is different. Then we're doing this together versus what the outside is putting in our head and saying what we should and what what we got this. We doing this together.
Yep.
I trust you, you trust me. We're gonna have good communication and we're gonna do this thing.
Yeah. And I just pray that enough people who are in the successful lane do a little bit of forgiving so that they can open up and remember when, right? Because your win will help you.
Remember your beginning.
Right. It will help you have grace for somebody else's space. And, and what it took. And a lot of times we don't know. We think that when we arrive, it was because of all that we did. And we don't recognize we arrived with that. But also it was a team, right? It was the people that poured into you. It was your belief system. It was maybe the family you was attached to, right. Was the access that you got, and that we take our opportunities and the things that God places before us for so much for granted that we miss out on. Everybody didn't get the same stuff. Everybody didn't get the same opportunities. Everybody didn't get the same advantages, but everybody got something that's special, that matters. Yeah. And when we get caught up in who did us wrong, when God gets us right, we won't get the wrong one right again, right? We won't go back to go get that person because you're like, oh no, I don't have time for that. And until we start going back to those dark places in which we left, to light those spaces up and to not get in our feelings, but go into our healing, like I said, we would be able to, like we say, go into different relationships. And it doesn't matter. I'm not saying it don't matter what you have, right? Because it does matter what you have. It matters your work ethic. It matters how serious you are. It matters that you're a go-getter. All those things matter. But it doesn't mean that you're actually going to have that financial security you need. And so sometimes if you got the money, and they got the honey, maybe if y'all collaborate, y'all can get money, honey.
But would you look a little closer?
Or would you look a little closer?
I promise you, if they got an income coming in, you just gotta look a little closer. I promise you, you're not seeing the whole thing. You just seeing the outside, but if you get to know them and see all the qualities and know the things about them, I'm telling you, you
understand. Listen, that's our new thing, right? Boy, won't you look a little closer?
Think a little deeper, and don't worry about these people relationship and no currency. That's why I gotta find somebody on my level.
I gotta find somebody on my level.
Yours might be different. Try it.
Right.
Try it. Don't go off for somebody else's relationship that got the financially challenged working man.
I'm just saying, the world is challenging us all right now. So perhaps that alone will give people grace for the space. Because life is a challenge. You find that, find a
You're
word.
Not meant to be alone.
Let me get the cards.
Women are not meant to be alone.
No.
Men and women weren't meant to be by themselves.
But until we put our resources together, we're going to miss what life is all about. And it is about coming together, two touching and agreeing. It's too many people separated and not enough people collaborated, right? What you found?
Truly amazing.
Truly amazing. Or perfect example. Either one of those will be good.
Okay. Let's see. All right. Truly amazing. There are 3 things that amaze me. No, 4 things that I don't understand. How an eagle glides through the sky. How a snake slithers on a rock. How a ship navigates the ocean. How a man loves a woman. Proverbs 30:18-19. Of everything we experience, true love between a husband and wife is one of the strongest and most amazing experiences of all. We marvel at the power and elegance of an eagle gliding silently through the sky. Its keen eyes searching far and wide. We are fascinated by creatures who must regulate themselves, carefully gauging their own bodies to know what is needed for optimal health. We are in awe of mighty ships that traverse even mightier oceans with difficulties and peril on every horizon. how much more should we give thanks to our Creator for the wonderful and amazing gift of love between ourselves and our marriage mate?
Not money. Love.
Mate, not by yourself.
The greatest of these is love.
Proper love for your spouses is even stronger than love of our own life. Like a powerful ship on a stormy sea, we must build each other up. Work together as a team and closely follow the commands of our loving Father. We need to keep constant watch over our marriages, making sure that things are kept in balance. And like the majestic eagle, if we keep our love pure and keenly look for ways to improve our marriages in godly ways, we will soar above the problems that come our way.
Good God Almighty.
Question. What signs does your spouse give you that they need comfort and reassurance? Man, listen.
You know what's so powerful about this? Because with this topic about the successful woman and if she'll be open to date somebody who's financially challenged, that is what the real question is. And what Truly Amazing really showed us is that the most powerful gift you can have is two people coming together. And what we are living in is a world of division, because the legacy that God created was for husband and wife to come together and support each other and work with each other and love on each other as a team. And when there's a team, that means everybody brings something to the table. And if one person have finances, God said, okay, you're going to bring something else. And the question is, it's okay who's bringing what, as long as everything gets to the team for us to win the championship, right? And so life is about building your work ethic with your teammate in order to conquer each year in every sport, in every area of life, whether it's an anniversary, whether it's a basketball game, whether it's football, whether it's movies, whether it's songs. They celebrate every year the accomplishments of what took place over the last 365 days of that year in all areas of life.
Come on now.
And so what God is saying, what's truly amazing is when we stop counting who's bringing what and recognize that as long as it's being brought, then the table is being put together. Because if everybody brings a dish, oh my God, we can have a feast. And so when the relationships realize that I need him and she needs me, and together, whether you are the breadwinner, whether she is the breadwinner, when y'all come together, y'all are a force to be reckoned with, because no matter what each of y'all have, it becomes a lot. It becomes more. And God said, glory to glory, more, more, more. And so in order for us to have truly amazing relationships, we have to be open to let go of the things that we cannot change. Recognize that whatever God gives us, he was preparing us for the moment in time that was going to make him shine. And that's what marriages and relationships do. It shows your love. It shows your commitment. It shows your patience. It shows your energy. It shows your ability to multiply. God said the greatest of this. We can multiply all of our things if we support each other. So I understand that we are in a world where everybody is chasing the bag and everybody has stuff that's so important. But the most important thing is that you have somebody to share a life with, that you have somebody to grow old with, that you have somebody to hold you, because the money can't hold you, baby girl. The money won't hold you, right? But a strong man can hold you when you're going through. A strong man can speak life over you when you're weak. A strong man can get you out of the childhood pain that you have enjoyed. That's what they're supposed to lead us. They're supposed to lead us out of those ways, so the money don't matter. God said, I gave you the money so it wouldn't matter, so that you can find truth and success, and that you wouldn't be stuck on who gonna do what, but that I can see you for who you were, because everything else, my daddy got me covered, right? And so if daddy got you covered, now you have a real clean slate, because you don't need their finances. What you need is somebody to love you, to see you, to protect you, to provide the things that are essential, because we came from a time when we didn't even need all these things. We didn't need a big car. It didn't have to be a mansion. It could have been a shack, but as long as I was with you, we were going to multiply. I think about my grandparents who went the distance. There was 9 kids and they did everything. My grandma stayed home, and of course they probably had their ups and downs, their ins and outs, but we are the seeds of legacy because they did the work. And so we're in a time now where they have crossed over, where now the women is making more than the men. The men took care of the woman when they was making more than the woman.
Come on now.
So you telling me you in a position and you didn't want to learn that lesson? You can learn any lesson you choose, and whatever plight or negative connotation you want to put on it, you're going to carry it with you. So I hope that as you're getting these resources, as you're growing, that it's not an air about what God has given you, because just as fast as he give it, so shall he take it away. And so money has no value. Love is the greatest gift of all. And until you're finding love, then the money will just make you lonely and you'll end up wealthy. Thy scarred. And so we don't want you to be thy scarred. We want you to be wealthy. WELLTHY. Thy well. Because although I have this stuff, the most precious gift of all is to share it with somebody. And so don't break down who you could be with by what they got. Do it by who they are. Find out who they are. And then what they have, y'all can multiply together. I promise. I'm a witness to that. And he surely multiplied me, because, honey, I didn't have all this. But guess what? I got books now.
And at the end of the day, this is what I'm going to tell you. We are in the playoffs, honey, okay? We are in the playoffs, baby. It takes a team to win. It takes a team to come together, and you participate, I participate. Not one person can win the game by themselves. We cannot get to the championship by ourselves. It takes a team. So you gonna get some points. I'm gonna get some points. The person on the bench who got hurt, he played and got hurt. If we win this championship, he gonna get a ring. We all gonna get a ring. But I promise you, you can't get the ring by yourself. It's you need the effort of the team to win the championship.
My God.
And it doesn't matter how many points you score. At the end of the day, we just gotta win.
We gotta win.
So everybody bring what they can in the measurement of ability of measurement in which they can give.
Responsibility.
Come on now, give what you could give, and we make it to the championship. And that's the forever union at the end of the day.
At the end of the day. That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about.
It ain't about what you got. It's about who you are. Because that stuff is going to stay right here. And you ain't taking it with you. So you could be the wealthiest woman in the world with your cats. I ain't saying take any old body, but I'm saying don't be all acting like.
Don't bypass the financial.
Yes.
Man.
Come on now. Now, he can't be lazy, but it's okay for him to be stuck in the matrix, because that's the world we're in today, is a matrix, right? And some people are rising above it. Some people are keeping their head above the water. Some people are sinking.
You might inspire him too.
You will. Ain't no might.
You can
a woman inspires a man. She multiplies a man.
You never know what somebody got inside of them that just needs somebody to come along and see them.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. A woman multiplies a man. It is his mate. Checkmate. Check your mate, baby. Game
Check
over.
On your mate,
checkmate, baby. Game over. Let's get our IM and we're going to get y'all out of here.
Y'all ready?
I guess this is, I don't know what this is. It was facing me.
Ready?
I'm unstoppable and I am magnificent.
Magnificent.
Come
on now.
That's a word for today. And since you have been unstoppable and since you are magnificent, it is time for you to dig deeper, right? And so I hope that that's this narrative that they are putting all over, that women don't want men that make less than them, and that they are just all bossed up to the point that they want to be by themselves. I say that is a lie from the pits of hell. That we will not go out like that. That we will not be the people who forgot what love and family was all about. That it requires units. And I pray that we can let go of all the things that hurt us in order to see who God is sending to us and through us. I ain't saying get no bum, but I'm saying make sure that he ain't the one. Because just because he don't have everything you have, it means he don't need it. Because God said you were going to have what he didn't, and he was going to have what you didn't. And together, you will win the playoff. You will win the game. You will win the championship. And so life is about championing through in an unstoppable way because there is grace for the space that you are grateful in all type of ways because you are magnificent.
That part.
Come on now. You are magnificently. Make marriages great again.
We gotta stop this divorce rate. We gotta build bridges around here. We gotta get to
as Mama Faye said, say that again. We are not meant to be alone. And we are not. And that's why we are alone. We is a difference between being alone and being lonely, okay?
The marriage was in the
know
heart,
the difference.
not the paper. Come on now.
Marriage is in the heart, not on paper. That's all good. This was an amazing conversation. Thank you all from wherever platforms you tuned in, because I can always see numbers. All the numbers are different. So I know there are different people in different places. So I just want to say we love you. I hope that this day is going amazing for you. I hope that this has been a good conversation. I hope you sit down with maybe some of your girlfriends and have that conversation and find out how they're thinking. And is this a true narrative? I don't believe it. I keep on hearing it, but I refuse to receive that. I see so many women that are open, just as open as men were to love on you. And so if that is you, keep on showing up. Keep on giving, being open to the heart of a man and not the pocket of a man, right? Because the heart of a man can increase the pocket. But the pocket of the man will decrease the heart, if that makes sense. Because the more richer you are, the more undeveloped you are if it just landed on you. But for those people that are building and trying to do the work, remember that. Have grace for the space and find out their story before you decide a narrative on them, right? And so if you are drawn to somebody, get to know them. Not what they have, but who they are.
Get to know them. Have a deep conversation. Get to know their aspirations. Get to know. Dig a little deeper.
Dig a little deeper, and find you a love, because you were not meant to be alone.
That part.
So as always, we want to say that it is a relay race, and somebody is relying on you to turn your heartbeat into a soul beat in order to leave your soul print. Because the fingerprint tells us what you got wrong in this world, but the soul print, it tells us what you got right. And what God got right is you. And so remember, you can never turn on anybody else's light, but you can provide enough light for them to find their switch. So stay lit in this world so somebody can find their way out of the darkness. It is your responsibility. Remember, that's the ability of measurement in which you can respond. We all have one. And so as you are building in your careers and building it in your life and building in your dreams, don't forget that when two touch and agree, it is so. So I wish a second agreement on your life so that the love can grow and legacy can be what it was called to be, which is love overload. Love grows everything. And when there's more love in the world, there's more peace in the world. And as long as we are separated, we are missing the mission that God sent to us. And that is the greatest of this. Is love. The greatest of this is not money. It is not stuff. The greatest of these is love. So remember to love first. And love grows everything. So love yourself first. You've been tuned into Coffee and Conversations. So don't forget to wake up and make today count. We love you guys. And we shall see you in the AM.
Y'all have a blessed day. And
blessed assurance
on this Winning Wednesday.